So since I started my GoFundMe and started fundraising for the expenses of my private medical treatment in Germany, people very quickly started to ask, why can't you pay for it? A lot of people look down on people using GoFundMe and asking for help in situations like this. But I just feel that if we never ask for help and show weakness, we may miss out on so many opportunities that we need. And I need the opportunity to get better. But the fact that my future is so confined to just being ill right now absolutely terrifies me. When am I gonna get to live my life? When am I gonna get to be a mother? When am I gonna be well enough to earn my own money to be able to afford to buy a house? It's so scary, and I just want you guys to know that if I wasn't desperate, I wouldn't be asking you, but I have to. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to sit down and answer a very frequently asked question at the moment, which although I feel you may know the answers to if you've been a subscriber of mine for a long time, I appreciate if you're new, you may not know the deal and you may not know what makes me unable to work or take out loans to fund my medical treatment. So before we get into it, if you're new here, please make sure that you're hitting the subscribe button and making sure your post notifications are turned on so that you never miss out on any of my new videos. Also, if you head over and follow me on all of my social media, that's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok and Facebook. That is the best way to keep up to date with me and everything that's going on with my medical journey and my life. And if you're ready, we'll just get into the video. So since I started my GoFundMe and started fundraising for the expenses of my private medical treatment in Germany, people very quickly started to ask, why can't you pay for it? By the way, I've got to apologise about the wind. I don't know how much the camera is picking up and how much I'm going to be able to filter out, but I am in the middle of the woods right now. I was out on a walk and I needed a rest, so I thought I'll sit down and I will film a video quickly. So I'm really sorry if that is affecting the sound quality, which I'm sure it is because it's fucking loud. I'm also getting a bit nervous because it started to cloud over a little bit and I'm wearing this. So if it rains, I'm fucked. So I'm going to try not to think about that and just get this video done. So the reason that I don't work at the moment is because I tried to hold down a job for as long as I could. I get a lot of people in my comments, especially on TikTok, who have varying severities and varying versions of this illness. So there's a lot of people that can sustain a job and work a regular 9 to 5. I used to be one of those people, and I used to work 5 days a week, 8-hour days, and for a long time I was able to sustain that. I was doing well at work, I was managing my illness and doctor's appointments with my job, and I tried to do that as long as I possibly could. But the fact that I got increasingly more unwell whilst I was working eventually led to me not being able to do that anymore. For a long time, that fucked with my mental. I've talked about it before on my channel, and I'm sure I'll talk about it again, but I went through a stage when I left work where I felt absolutely purposeless. I felt useless. I felt like I had finally got to a stage of pure weakness, which I now know is not true, but I was so suicidal and depressed in that time. So the thing that stopped me from being able to work every day was when I started having allergic reactions to my own sweat. I carried on for a good couple of months after I started having the allergic reactions to sweat, but it got increasingly bad and increasingly frequent. And I started having temperature control issues as well. So I would often not be able to control my temperature enough to avoid sweating, but I still tried for as long as I could. And then the big one happened, and that was when I started having allergic reactions to going to the toilet. So when I say go into the toilet, I've had some people concerned that maybe I just have a UTI or something, but it's not an internal burn. It's not that it burns whilst I piss. It's not a burn that burns me inside. It's when I go to the toilet, whether I hover over the toilet, whether I sit on the toilet seat or not, the back of my legs, all the back of my thighs, the back of my bum, all of my lower back, I have allergic reactions in those areas, and we're not sure why that is. We're not sure if it's from the moisture in the air, like when you're near the toilet, or if it's maybe that I'm perspirating a little bit when I go to the toilet. We don't know what it is, but all I know is that I have allergic reactions almost every single time I go to the toilet, and that's what stops me from being able to work a 9 to 5 and make my own income. Now, after I had to leave my work because of my illness, like I say, I went through a really bad time mentally. And when I eventually came out the other end of that depression, that was when I decided to start my YouTube and to begin sharing what I was going through with other people in order to avoid them feeling that loneliness and that isolation of having a diagnosis, having no sure set treatment plans. So that's why I'm not making my own income. I've tried to flip it and I've tried to turn YouTube into an income for me, but I haven't had that break yet. And unfortunately, I'm not well enough a lot of the time to be as consistent as I would like to be. But I feel like I have tried my very best. I've used what I have to make something positive out of the situation. And I don't think it's fair to say to anyone with a chronic illness or a severe illness that, you know, why aren't you working? Why aren't you doing more? Because you don't know what it takes that person just to get through their day every day. And I truly just wish people were a bit more considerate of people's feelings, knowing that no one asks to be unwell, no one asks to be disabled, no one asks to have their life change in a way that mine did, and a lot of other young people's have. No one asks for that. So to be like, why don't you have a job? Why don't you have money to pay for your medical expenses? Like, it's not helpful, because there's nothing that you can ask us that we haven't already asked ourselves and felt guilty for. Another one is, why can't I get a loan? A lot of people have said, like, why didn't you just get a loan to pay for this? Instead of asking people to donate, why didn't you just borrow from the bank? And the reason that I didn't do that and cannot do that is because I don't have a job. I don't have a steady income. Like, you guys may think that YouTubers are super, super rich, but I am not one of those YouTubers. Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking for this help. I haven't made a lot of money from YouTube at all. In the early days when I had viral videos, I didn't really understand properly about ad revenue, and I just didn't optimize my earnings. So I don't have a significant amount of savings from my YouTube journey. You know, I literally probably make about £100 a month, if that, from YouTube, and no bank is gonna support me or lend me with an income like that. My parents don't have money. I don't have any family members that can contribute towards this. I don't have family members that can lend money. Shit, I don't even have family members with good enough credit or enough free credit to take out loans on my behalf. I am in an impossible situation. People assume that when you fundraise online and when you use services like GoFundMe, that you are expecting people to fund you while you sit on your ass and do nothing. But I just need and want you to know that I'm doing everything that I can, including putting all of my creator monies into these medical expenses. All of my TikTok money goes into these medical expenses. Like, every bit of money that I have is going to these medical expenses, and I just don't know what else to do other than pray for a miracle and ask for help online. I just want you guys to remember that I'm not forcing anyone's hand here, and a lot of people look down on people using GoFundMe and asking for help in situations like this. But I just feel that if we never ask for help and show weakness, we may miss out on so many opportunities that we need. Like, and I need the opportunity to get better, because the life I live, the quality of life that I have right now is not it. I've been on a 15-minute walk on a breezy day, and I've had to stop and sit down for this long to film this video, to allow myself to cool down, the itching to stop. And let's not even talk about the fact that I haven't even taken a bath today because I am scared as fuck to put myself through the pain. I've had enough pain, and that's why I'm asking for help, is because I am 23 years old and I should be shaking my ass on a yacht in Dubai in a thong.
It's time for me to shake my ass on a yacht.
In Dubai.
In a thong.
You know, and I appreciate I won't be doing that anytime soon, but the fact that my future is so confined to just being ill right now absolutely terrifies me. Like, when am I gonna get to live my life? When am I gonna get to be a mother? When am I going to be well enough to earn my own money to be able to afford to buy a house? Like, it's so scary. And I just want you guys to know that if I wasn't desperate, I wouldn't be asking you. But I have to. And I just wanted to sit down and talk about that. I also want to thank you guys so much for supporting me so much so far on my journey. I still cannot get my head around how much has been donated and how many donors there have been to my GoFundMe and towards my medical expenses. It really gives me so much hope that one day the funds will get there or will mount up enough for me to be able to go back to Germany and see out the rest of this journey. But for right now, I just don't have the funds because they've told me to prepare for this to be open-ended, and right now this is not open-ended. Like, the price of private medical care is so crazy and the money doesn't stretch far. I'm gonna have to save or raise quite a bit more before I can confidently go into this and I can afford whatever treatment they may need to throw at me. It's been a bit hard reading comments where people are kind of trying to pick holes or to suggest that maybe I'm lazy or I'm not doing enough. I just wanted to promise that I'm doing everything I can. I'm currently organising a fundraising event as well, so I will be talking about that in the next couple of months, but I don't have any certain dates on that yet. I'm doing everything I can, and I appreciate those of you who always support me and encourage me and tell me that I can do it. As I said at the beginning, please make sure that you're subscribing to my channel and turning your post notifications on. If you like this video and interact with this video, it helps to get me onto the trending page, which in turn can help get me more exposure and get more help to this GoFundMe and to my situation. Also, if you wanted to head over and go and watch the Treatment Diaries series, I'll put that on the screen for you now. It's a really good series and it showed the first part of my journey to Germany, where you can see me going to the hospital, visiting the hospital and finding out what they think will come next. It's super interesting, and if you're interested in this journey, then that's definitely a good place to start. I will link the GoFundMe down below in case any of you are feeling generous and want to contribute in any way. As always, angels, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.